After charging for a while at the Lucky 7 casino, I became convinced that the new charger in Crescent City was legit. I didn't know this charger existed, so I saw it on the app and got pretty excited. So I headed down the road another 18 miles, found the new charger in Crescent City, and lo and behold, it is legit. I charged there for a while, decided to spend the night in Crescent City, partly because I needed a shower, and I saw that the pool opened at 5:30 in the morning, so it seemed like as good a place as any to stay the night. I was feeling pretty tired, and I didn't want to miss the upcoming redwoods or drive the upcoming terrain in the dark. Woke up, it was pouring rain. And this is significant because I am at the gap, meaning ChargePoint seems to be filling the gap, and I am really excited about that, and you should be too, because it's going to be so much easier for you than it was, for me in the past, having to do it backwards and in heels in a snowstorm or something. Just kidding, but it's going to be a heck of a lot easier, but still right now it's not looking so easy because the gap has not been totally filled. So between Crescent City and Trinidad, California, there has never been a charger, and it's hilly, and now it's raining. So things like rain, standing water, wind, cold temperatures all eat away at your range. And I have a 61-mile drive ahead of me, so I'm going to leave with a 100% charge. You can be sure of that. I've also been running the heat in the car, trying to dry it out inside, so I won't have to run the heat while I'm driving. But it's pretty likely I'm going to have to run the heat while driving at least a little bit to try to keep the windows from fogging up. So things like windshield wipers, headlights, seat heaters, those don't really take a significant bit of your charge, and your sound system probably doesn't either unless your sound system is really kicking. It's hard to fit really kicking into a tiny car, but I'm sure it can be done. So right now I'm just topping off my charge, topping off the heat. I looked at the weather, it's supposed to just rain all day, otherwise I would maybe hunker down here for a bit. And I have been known to hunker down somewhere for days or even a week or so, waiting for favorable weather before crossing a stupendous gap of no charging. So this could be really sketchy. It looks like a new charger is going in Klamath, which is the most critical spot in the gap. But I have doubts if I can actually use this charger yet, so I'm crossing my fingers, and I'm going to try to dodge the big puddles and drive slowly, as much as is reasonable, into the redwood forest on South Highway 101 in the state of California. Del Norte Redwoods State Park. So, shortly after I left Crescent City, started up this super steep incline in the pouring rain. And fortunately, there's a passing lane, and it's Monday morning, and there's little traffic, and so I feel free to go like 20 miles per hour up this super steep incline with my four-way flashers on. I wouldn't do this if I didn't feel like I had to, but you could call it car trouble if there's no chargers and chargers are needed. I've run out of passing lane, so I feel that I must speed up a little. My range has plummeted. I have not gone very far, according to range estimate right now. There's no way I'm going to make it to Trinidad, California. But I also know from previous experience crossing mountain passes that to some extent, you know, if you're crossing a mountain pass, to some extent your range is purely psychological, and you need to remain calm while considering your options. So, got to the pass there. The range estimate is looking pretty poor. Accordingly, I have an 81% charge, which sounds favorable, and a 40-something mile range, shifting around. Hard to know how much of that range was lost due to the weather, or due to the poor road conditions. That road's kind of a mess back there. And how much was due to the pass, the way that messes up your range. But like I said, range is psychological, especially when you're going through a pass. Things look pretty bad, but it's just an appearance. A tailgater here. Trees of mystery. All Bunyan and bathed blue eyes. Major tourist trap for decades. Yay, I'm not stopping. I'm heading on into Klamath to investigate the new charge point charger that's been installed but may or may not yet be operational. I'm hoping for operational today because of these driving conditions. Now once that charger is operational, this whole excursion will be a lot less stressful. It's stressful today because I really don't know if that charger is going to work or not. And that is the critical point. Klamath, California. Now this is exciting news, people. I am here in Klamath, California. I rolled in with a pretty good charge. I think it was like 73%. But not that great of a range. It had bumped up to like 50 miles. So I could quite possibly still make it even in these conditions of pouring rain. And, you know, having to run the air. Having to run the air is a problem because it eats up your charge. And because of how it's raining, the windshield fogs up pretty quickly if I'm not running the air. So, the PlugShare app doesn't show this charger yet, but it looks like it could any day. It's here near the Yurok tribe. You probably can't see that through all the rain on my windshield, but this is Yurok tribe territory. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's got to be one of my favorite tribal names. Yurok! I know, I'm not the only one to think of that. Anyway, sorry about that. I love the Yurok tribe. I love Klamath, California so much more now that it has a charge point charger. Now, I couldn't find the charger at first because I have no service. And this is a problem sometimes along the coast. You lose your phone service, and if you don't know where the charger is, I haven't planned ahead, you might find it a little difficult. And I thought maybe I'd pop into the casino or visitor center or something and ask, hey, where's the new car charger? Because it's a pretty small town, and probably everybody knows where it is. But then I spotted it. I was driving slowly, and I spotted the orange posts of charge point chargers. And I pulled up, got my little charge point card out, and I walked up to the charger, and it says installation in progress, which means it is officially still not yet operational, but could be any day. It could be later today. I don't really know what's going on with the charger, but you know, desperate person here, desperate measures. swiped my card. I pulled out the plug. I plugged in my car. I waited a minute. At first, it looked like it wasn't going to charge, but then it started charging. So I guess it's in a test mode, but good enough for me. Hopefully, it'll charge for a little while here, and that test mode doesn't mean, you know, like 5 minutes of charging, then it's done or something. I'm just going to sit here in my car in the pouring rain and worship this new little charger. You know, appreciate this new charger in this much needed spot in the gap of Northern California where there have previously not been chargers, and it's been really difficult to get through here, but you know, like I said, I've done it. It can be done. It's just going to be so much better now. So thanks, ChargePoint, for working on filling this gap. This has been a successful test of the Klamath ChargePoint Level 2 charger. This concludes our test. EVagabond video blog. It's a little rain. Just to be clear, normally rain is not a big concern. However, the weather report said drenching rain, which does sound kind of serious, especially in terms of standing water on the road, which will really eat up your charge. Just a little rain, no big deal. Maybe even a little pouring rain is not a big deal. Standing water is kind of a big deal, and all these things can be mitigated along with elevation gain if there are sufficient chargers. If there are enough chargers to go around, none of these things need be a crisis. But when they all pile up on you, insufficient charging options, drenching rain, cooler temperatures, it's 39 degrees right now, elevation gain, substantial elevation gain, you know, steep hills that go on and on. All these things pile up together with a 61-mile drive and an 87 rated car. Things could go awry, hence the stress. So I'm grateful I had the opportunity to be one of the testers for the Klamath, California Level 2 ChargePoint charger. Brand new, shiny, works great. Works great for me anyway. And that made a big difference. I stayed there until I had a 100% charge, of course. I don't feel like messing around out here in the redwood country where there's not a lot of grid, not a lot of options, not a lot of populace, you know, between the towns. Klamath is a pretty small town. Eureka is more substantial, but that was a ways away. To be continued. The EVagabond video blog is brought to you by the Daofawu Monastery, offering monastic living in a rural setting somewhere between Nugent's Corner and Nooksack, Washington.